Today, I'm going to talk to a friend of mine about how you can sell a wide variety of products and collect the profits and royalties on what sells. But all you have to do is create a design and upload it. There's no inventory to hold and no orders to ship. This is going to be a great one that will open some income possibilities that you may not have even known were out there.
Are you looking to travel with your family while making a full-time income? You're in the right place. Welcome to Touring Freedom with your host, Jason Wyatt.
Hey y'all, I'm Jason Wyatt and I am here to help you on your journey to your journey. My goal is to help you build a completely mobile income so that you can enjoy a location-independent lifestyle. Today I'm going to be talking to my good friend Fernando Sustaita. Fernando runs a six-figure print-on-demand business. So basically, he just comes up with designs, uploads them to a service, and when an item sells, his service that he uses prints the design on a shirt, a mug, a mask, or whatever sold, and then they ship it to the customer for Fernando. So actually, the product doesn't even exist before the customer buys it. And in my opinion, this makes it a very good business model for those of us on the road. As I promised in a previous episode, when I haven't been able to realize significant success in a certain business model, I'm going to bring on someone else to talk about it who may know more about it. And that's what's happening on this episode. Fernando is an expert in this subject, and that's why he's here. So without further ado, I present to you Fernando Sustaita. So, hey, Fernando, how's it going?
Hey, how are you, Jason?
All right. I gave everybody a short little quick bio up front in the beginning of the show, but why don't you give us a little bit of your history and what you do now?
Well, as you know, I have been doing e-commerce for quite some time. I did e-commerce back in '98 when I was in eBay, so I am not a new person to the business. But at some point, I went into corporate, so I didn't do much of this e-commerce for a while until I got tired of working the 9 to 5. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna go full time. So I've been doing full time since 2014, and I'm not going back. uh, one of those days I started with the Amazon FBA. I was an expert on toys. I mean, I'm a toy collector myself, outerwear collector. It was easy for me to find toys that I could resell, but very fast I started learning that it was very difficult to scale a business or only selling toys. You can only sell what you can find, right? I needed to find a six-figure income as soon as possible because that's what I had left behind in my 8 to 5. Quickly, I started adding clothes, groceries, and anything I could get my hands on. And it started becoming a little tedious, to be always looking for
Right.
product, packing and shipping and packing and finding them. Then I came across print on demand, and what started as something that was supposed to be just as an add-on to meet my necessities quickly became my main source of income. I still sell toys, I still sell clothes, but I only do when I find nice deals. I no longer go hunting like desperately over hundreds of stores. Now I just go, and whenever I find a good clearance, I buy and save and stuff like that. It's a different model now. Print on demand has been very good to me. This is something that you had asked me in 2014 if I was going to be doing. I would have said hell no. It would have never crossed my mind because in 2011 or so, when Teespring was, the gold mine of of e-commerce, I completely failed at it. So when you say print on demand, I was like, no, that's not for me. And here I am now, right?
So right now, the print on demand is what you're actually relying on for income, and then the selling products, selling physical products is more of a in your spare time kind of thing. So how much you actually being able to pull out of POD? Or have you made that six figures out of POD at this point?
Yes, I am making six figures out of POD. I mean, it's now consistent. And to be honest, during the lockdowns, my Amazon stores got empty because, first of all, there was really no competition on a lot of products, so a lot of my products sold out. I couldn't go to stores to find any products, so because they were closed or they weren't allowing people to go in and do stuff like that. So I had to depend heavily on print on demand. It's more than ever. One thing that lockdowns and the pandemic has shown us is that people that were never thought about buying things online started doing so. So my business has boomed in the last couple of months because of this situation.
So you've actually seen an increase since the lockdowns, huh?
Oh, yes, and everybody who is doing print on demand during the lockdowns, who has been doing it with a positive attitude, has seen increase in their businesses.
I've mentioned to the audience a little bit about the benefits of this business model to full-time RV travel. What do you see as why this business model fits the RV lifestyle so well?
You don't need inventory. You don't need to have investment whatsoever. You don't get to pay for the product until you sell it. So it's, in a way, you can say it's a way of drop shipping, but it's not really, because it's a production on demand. And you are selling a product that if some of your suppliers right now says, I am out of, you can go to another supplier that has exactly the same product and you can say, okay, you create it and you ship it. Whereas when you're doing drop shipping, you're depending on someone in China that say, yeah, we don't have it, and you're done because you will never find it anywhere else. Print on demand is one of those that you can do in the run. We have a sister who has a house on the beach. I can go there for 2-3 weeks and I don't have to worry about absolutely nothing because I can work a couple hours, upload my products, run my ads, check my order, check what I have to take care of, with my suppliers, all through a computer, sometimes doing over my use with my phone. I have a successful business running without having me to worry about inventory damage, inventories, not fitting to people or getting lost in transit. Because when it gets lost in transit, your supplier is the one who shipped, and they have to guarantee delivery. So it gets lost in transit, they have to ship another one. If it arrive damage, they also, have in a way responsibility because they have to guarantee the good delivery of the product. So for somebody who is in the move all the time, there is no more loyal business than print on demand. I have a mastermind where I have actually two people who is what they do. They travel and it's all they do. Print on demand is full of people who are, travelers because of the same situation. All they have to do is find internet, good connection. Some of them go to the parking lot of Lowe's. They park there, they get Wi-Fi. They work with your computer for a couple of hours. They upload some products, and they keep driving. So it's a very good business model for somebody who is not dependent on a location.
Right. So it's basically you're drop shipping an item that's not even created yet. It doesn't even exist yet,
You know,
but you're going to go ahead and sell it. They're going to make it and ship it to your customer. They provide most of the customer service. You don't have to worry about much at all. I love the model, but my problem is I'm not creative at all. Like I've tried to create some designs and upload them and do all that, but I don't have a creative bone in my body. I have to outsource any kind of creative stuff that I do. I know you mentioned a little bit about you have to be creative, and if you're not, you get somebody else. Can you talk a little bit more about that and how that process works?
there are over 20,000 different products that you can print on. Okay, and every single product requires different levels of design. Some products, all they require is just a canvas that you just place on them, and that's all you have to sell. And some of them require some design, like making a nice drawing and doing stuff like that. So you can find some resources online that you can actually purchase, and then you can modify a little bit, and then you can add them into your products, or you can hire designers to do this for you. There are designers that will do a per design basis. There are designers that will work for you full time, and there are designers that will sell you combos. In my experience, the designers that do combos honestly sell a bunch of crap because all they're doing is making hundreds of design and then selling, in bundles. I am not a fan of those. I don't know a single one that I actually can recommend. A designer that you ask them to do one by one, they're a little more expensive. They can charge probably anywhere from $8 to $15 per design, but they will give you better quality product. Finding a designer is not that difficult. You can go to Fiverr or Free Up or any place like that, and you can test a couple of them. You can interview them if you want to. It's not very difficult to find designers, to be honest. If you really want to find one, you will find one in a matter of days.
I think you hit on my mistake. And when I tried to get in on this is I think I was concentrating on those bundle providers that you were talking about. And I was basically just buying crap that nobody wanted, nobody would buy. So I know exactly what you're talking about there.
I'm not to rain in anybody's parade, but the way I see it is most of these people who sells bundles are also sellers. So the way I
Right.
see it is they keep the good stuff and whatever they think that is not going to work, they just bundle them and sell them. It's the way I see it. It's like you cannot serve two masters, right? You're a seller and you shouldn't be selling bundles.
It's a conflict of interest.
Yes. So and that's what I never recommend people who will take my classes is, to buy bundles. And that's why you will never see me in my Facebook group ever supporting one of these services. It's just not, it doesn't align with my point of view in business. Or you can go to another website that is called Vexels.com. And Vexels.com, what they do is they have over 2,000 designs in there or more. They give you the rights to use them. Now, you want to go into royalty-based companies like managed by Amazon or Redbubble, stuff like that. They give you the file, the Adobe Illustrator file, or they give you the PDF file so that you can modify those designs to make them your own. So it's what I like about that service is that you get to be able to modify those designs so you can have something unique. But if you have a store like a Shopify store where you don't care about what the competition has because it's your own store, you can just get a bunch of designs there and put them in your store and try to sell them, which is honestly about 75% of my designs in my store can come from Vexels right now because they have good quality and it's like $30 a month or something like that. And the rest, I told my daughter to modify them and making different and stuff like that. And then she gets some of the designs and put them on Redbubble for her own account. You want to find designs. It is not a problem. It's more like about finding the right time and finding what sells. Just because you got a design doesn't mean that people want to buy it. You got to do some research, understand what people want to buy, what people are right now buying. But the best ones are predicting what they want to buy. Is where you actually make the money. You are ahead of the curve by predicting what they want to be interested on. Is what you can find a hit and actually make a good amount of money.
Yeah. So, for instance, if someone wanted to put themselves through the torture of watching these Democrat and Republican national conventions that are going on right now, they could pick out some sort of quote. If some quote stuck out to them that was said in a speech, they could put that on a shirt. And if that quote takes off, they make a ton of money. A lot of this, what I've seen people do is grab on to a quote. Maybe it's a popular TV show and somebody said something catchy or something, and they kind of ride a wave of popularity once that catches on. And for a
Yes.
couple of months, they're making a lot of money. And then it kind of, wanes off a little bit. A lot of times it's not about just creativity. Now you do have to have an eye or an ear for what's going to be popular or what's
Yes.
catchy. And then you have to be creative enough to make that into an attractive shirt. Speaking of shirts, what other kinds, give us a few examples of other merchandise that you can print these designs on. And I know at this point there are dozens of different kinds, but what are some of the most popular products that you can offer?
I gladly answer that question, but I want to rewind a little bit with the comment you made. For example, the political campaigns, and I want to say that you nailed it there, because for the longest time I used to watch political. Right now it completely annoys me, but that's why I can no longer watch it. It's just painful. But
Yeah, me either.
it was a State of the Union at one point, and I was watching President Trump, and he said that Americans are dreamers too, right? So I heard that, and as soon as I heard that phrase, I knew that was a moneymaker. I ran to my computer, I created that design. It was a very crappy design, but it was one of the few ones that got on time on the store. I saw about 250 shirts before everybody else completely flooded the market. Why? Because that resonated with Americans right there. Anybody who was watching that State of the Union and heard that phrase, because it was a time about the Dreamers and the Dreamers Act and stuff like that. I think it was his first State of the Union. I said, this is a moneymaker. Boom, I ran, and yes, it is. A lot of phrases politicians say resonates with people immediately.
Right.
And
The thing, if you're going to be looking at politics for shirt or merchandise ideas, you have to leave your own politics out of it.
yes,
We're looking for things that are going to be popular and that are going to sell. We're not trying to promote our own political ideology.
no. I mean, one thing you will never hear from me is talking about my politics in my groups, stuff like that. I know. I mean, you probably know my politics, but You don't get your feelings involved in your products. Okay, this is about being as unbiased as possible. You hear that phrase and you're like, yes, this is going to resonate. It doesn't matter what makes you feel. It matters what it's going to make feel a million other people that may be interested in buying that. Now that phrase only lasted like for 2 3 days. It didn't matter. It made me about $1,000. Very quick money. Took me 5 minutes to make the design. I put it up. Boom, some money. Sometimes there's a phrase that resonates for a little longer, and that can actually do it. And then sometimes there are phrases that not a lot of people catch that they last a lot longer, and you're the only one in the market, and those ones can make you very good amount of money. For example, when the solar eclipse came out, what was that, about 2 years ago or so, 3 years ago? I didn't see the excitement or white American population was so excited about it. But there was one person who said, you know what? He researched every single darn city where the eclipse was going to be seen. And he made a shirt for every single darn city where the eclipse was going to be seen. And he made it, each one of them. That guy made $55,000 because he decided to make those ones. And it was so simple. All he changed was the name of the city. Okay.
I know at the time I came up with a catchy phrase for a Eclipse shirt. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was a kind of a tongue-in-cheek catchy phrase for the Eclipse, and I put it on merch by Amazon and made a decent amount. It wasn't anywhere near the 55,000 in a month, but I was able to ride that wave a little bit, so that was nice. The key is to catch one of those waves, something catchy, and roll with that for a little while. Now, you do have your evergreen products,
Yes.
but it helps to get a little boost out of those
Oh, yeah.
catchphrases and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and waves of popularity.
You have to have your niche. You have to have your market. You have to have your customers that come coming. But that doesn't mean that you cannot go and catch, and cash out from something spontaneous. And those are the ones that are going to make the difference. And maybe you only want to catch one or two spontaneous moments in the whole year. Maybe not in the whole year. Maybe one year we'll catch five. But those are the ones that bring the good money, right? But you have to be building a business, and this is a 6 figure to 7 figure business. Okay, print on demand. It's not a small business. If you go right now to piperlookcollection.com, for example, that store sells, I think, over $10 million every single year, and it's nothing but print on demand. Okay, so it's a huge store. So now you're asking me what are the main products right now on print on demand. Now, of course, anything having to do with apparel is always going to sell. Everybody thinks print on demand automatically thinks shirts because it's the most easy to sell, but also there is more competition. Also, it's the one that gets saturated on the Facebook ads because a lot of people run ads with lacking imagination, and they go and run the product that is the most logical, which is the t-shirts. So when you go on Facebook and you start scrolling down your timeline, you see a shirt and another shirt being promoted, and you see a lot of shirts being promoted. And that doesn't cause any disruption on your customer behavior, right? Because it's like, oh, another shirt. But there are so many different articles of clothing that you can promote. There's clothes for babies, there's clothes for kids, there's clothes for toddlers, there's clothes for sports, there's clothing for, I mean, literally, if you can print something or embroider something on on it, it's a print on demand product. You just have to find the right supplier. What makes the most money right now for people is jewelry. Print on demand jewelry has a huge market because it's also a piece that you get to tell someone that you care, and you can engrave it, and it has now more sentimental value attached. You can actually ask for more money for it. You are, for example, selling China products. China is going to cost you like a basic piece of jewelry from China in a silver or gold plated. It's not going to cost you more than $14, but those things sells for like $45, and then you can charge like $10 for engraving, and then you can add and add and add and add. So you can make $30 easy on a piece of jewelry. You can sell very high volumes of those. You find the right design for the right piece. It's amazing. Now, a design for jewelry is a little bit more expensive than a shirt. And by more expensive, I mean like anywhere from $10 to $20 because the canvas that you have is very small. Think about, when you're wearing a little necklace, somebody has to be able to read what that necklace says. whoever designs needs to know very well what font and spacing and sizing to make that fit in that piece of jewelry so that the message doesn't get lost and you don't have to use a magnifying glass to read it. So it takes a little more skill. So they're going to charge a little bit more to make it pretty and attractive and have the whole message.
I've actually bought my wife some print on demand. I didn't even realize it was print on demand when I bought it, but I've bought her some print on demand jewelry, and I didn't realize until we're talking right now in this conversation. You know what? That was probably print on demand.
Yeah, if you have epoxy on top of it, most likely was printed.
Yeah. I know there are different platforms as far as places that'll actually print the stuff. But let's talk about the platforms to sell. And the main ones, the main two that you focus on are Etsy and Shopify. I've talked a lot about building your own brand, and you want to make sure that you're able to communicate directly with your customers instead of going through an intermediary like Etsy. But Etsy is a good place to find your audience.
It
So
is.
how easy is it to grab your customers from Etsy and take them over to your own website?
Okay. Uh, Very easy, actually. And let me tell you why. Etsy originally was like Amazon, okay? It was like a mini Amazon. They control your customer. They control every single aspect of the marketing. All they had was in-house marketing. They didn't want to allow any external service to be integrated with them. When Amazon started hitting them, when created Amazon Custom and created an Amazon Handmade and created all these little things, Etsy started really fading. Etsy started realizing that they couldn't compete with Amazon anymore. Because before they didn't see Amazon as a competition, they only saw as a model marketplace that was doing business. But Amazon, being Amazon, they said, "Nah, we're gonna take a bunch of your share." I mean, and they started opening different platforms inside Amazon that were competing directly with Etsy. So Etsy realized that all they had in their portfolio was moms and pop shops that were doing handmade products. And when you do handmade products, you don't create a lot of listings, right? Because you specialize in very minimum products. When you go to a store in Etsy, there will be like 10, 20 different products. And Etsy charges 20 cents per listing. So that wasn't making them any money. But they didn't want to lose their credibility as a handmade place. So they come up with this brilliant idea that print on demand is handmade. The only rule that they have is that you or your member of your staff has to be the designer. So you cannot sublease designs. You have to be your designer or somebody in your team. In this case, you have a virtual assistant. He's your employee. He can be your designer. What they went and did is that they said, okay, we can allow you to integrate a Weber to Etsy. And whenever you get a purchase, Etsy gets the customer, but you also get the customer. Now, Etsy says that you can only use the customer to sell inside of Etsy. Now you have a way to email the customer. You have the customer's information. You have their address. You have all the information. They give it to you, and you can use it to get them back into Etsy. Now, being honest, that can be changed, right? But that is the rule. Then people say, okay, yeah, email is not enough. They said, okay, now they added Google Analytics, and then they added Facebook Pixel. So you can install your own pixel on Etsy. When you have a pixel full of data of who visits your store, who clicks in your store, who purchases in your store, even if it's a different pixel than the one you have in your Shopify store, you can still use that data to create lookalike audiences. So in your Shopify store, which is your own store with your own brand in your own standalone system, can depend on Etsy to create the traffic, to test the product, and to test the niche. You can start creating a very good brand connecting Etsy and Shopify together. And Etsy can develop your store as you are learning, as you are testing a new product. I mean, just think about this. You don't have to be running a lot of ads to test this product is being liked. You post it on Etsy, you let's see if it starts selling in the right niche. You test your keywords in there. You get data from Google Analytics on how many people are clicking your store, because your keywords are in place, and you don't have to pay literally a dime, but 20 cents to list. And when somebody sells, you do. Now, Etsy has internal ads, but you can also run Facebook ads into Etsy with your pixel into your product, which I don't really recommend because when somebody goes to your product, what stops them from going to somebody else's store and spending the money? But Etsy has become a very amazing tool for you to build a brand. When you don't know about driving traffic, Etsy is bringing you traffic because now you are inside a marketplace and you can have as many stores as you want, okay? As long as you disclose that you own more than one store. So you can use them to test different niches with different pixels and start getting data and data and data. Once you want to build your brand, you can open a Shopify store with a niche specific angle and already with some customers and data on how to run ads more efficiently to them because you have all this data from the pixel already being fired on the Etsy store that you can use to create lookalike audiences based on whoever has visited and based on the emails that you have. And then you can start running ads without having to spend a lot of time to warm your pixel for your Shopify store. I don't know if that makes sense.
Basically, you're recommending to start off in Etsy, build up some traffic. That's all. That's not only building up your email list from customers from Etsy, but it's also firing your Facebook pixel so that you can retarget them on Facebook with ads and then send them to a Shopify store. Put simply, correct?
I say it more like it's a convenience. You can start whatever you want. To be honest, if you have some experience already running ads and you have some experience with customer service, go and jump ahead and open a Shopify store. I mean, the learning curve is already, advanced. But if you have no idea how to do customer service, you have no idea how to run ads, you have no idea how to, do keywording and stuff like that, I think Etsy is the best place to start.
So can you go ahead and dig into exactly how the monetary stuff works? So you set your price or whatever that is, and then you pay the print on demand service, and that's two different separate things, right? Can you kind of go into that?
Yes, sure. When you're in royalty base, you set your price, and whoever the company you're working with, either Merch or Redbubble, Sasso, or whatever of these companies, they're going to pay you royalty. And it's very upfront. They're going to say the royalty is going to be X%, or it's going to be $3, or it's going to be a number. You always know what you're going to get paid, okay? No matter what happens, you're going to get paid that. When you are doing Etsy or Shopify, you go and find a supplier. There are a lot of different options that you can choose from and you find a supplier that best suits your needs. They give you a price. They give you a fixed price. They say, okay, this shirt is going to cost you $8 plus shipping. And the shipping for a shirt is going to be about $3 or $4. So let's say it's $4 to go into little, so it's $8 for the shirt and it's $4 for shipping. So it's going to cost you $12. Now, when you go on Etsy, Etsy is going to charge you, I believe it's 10% or whatever the price you sell plus shipping. Let's say you have it at $24, shipping included, right? $24 free shipping. Etsy is going to charge you $2.50 plus the 20 cents insertion fee that they already charge you. You pay the supplier $12 and they start production of your product. And Etsy pays you every 48 hours or so. So they pay you whatever it was that you sold the for minus their fee. So they pay you, let's say, $22 and they deposit that into your account. The difference between what you paid your supplier and what you paid Etsy is what you made. If you had sold a shirt for $24 on a royalty base, you would probably made about $6. Here you're gonna make about $8, but you're probably gonna make about the same, but you're gonna get an email and a chance to sell the customer another product. Okay.
So basically, we're talking about instead of making a royalty off of somebody paying you for the creation of a product, what we're talking about here is you're actually selling at a profit. So that's what it is. It's straight profit instead of a royalty.
Yes, it's straight profit. So when you have a royalty, you have no interaction with the customer because they are not your customers. That's what they pay you in royalties, right? They pay you for the right to use your design at the price you tell them to sell it. Now, $24
Right.
in Amazon is impossible. You sell them right once in a random moon, they sell more for like $19. So you literally make about $3.50. In Etsy, you make about $8 per share sale, so because you can sell them higher. People are used to paying higher on Etsy and also are used to slower shipping on Etsy because they don't have Prime. So it's a whole different market. But you also get that email. That's way more value because that can convert into more sales.
Well, that actually enables you to grow your own business instead of just selling on someone else's platform.
Yes, you can sell on, I mean, you can sell on Amazon 100,000 shirts and you have no idea who bought it. Any money you spend on ads inside the platform was wasted. Yes, it made you some money at the end of the day, but it gave you absolutely no extra benefits.
Right. The most valuable thing you can get out of participating in business is that customer's information,
It is.
especially if they're already a known buyer.
Yeah. All you have is buyers. You don't have customers. In Etsy, you have customers.
So one last question about the waves. Have you been able to get in on the mask craze and sold any masks?
I saw a lot of masks at the very beginning. And yes, it was extremely profitable at the beginning because there was literally no competition. And to be honest, the mask fever is not over yet. I anticipate that masks are going to be one of the hottest items for Christmas.
I haven't even thought about masks for Christmas.
I mean, just think about it. Quarter four this year already began. I mean, I don't know if you have already noticed, but I'm already getting Christmas ads. People have no idea how the supply chain is going to be affected the next. You see, the increase on customers right now in e-commerce has doubled since the pandemic started. And customers now know that the US Postal Service is a total mess because they are every single day they're seeing the packages not arriving on time. Like the other day, I got my first bill for a computer I bought. I bought it 15 days late, and I didn't even know when I had to make my first payment because my login wasn't in that letter. So I had to call my bank and say, hey, I just got the letter. Say, yeah, we will waive all your fees and stuff like that and things like that. But it's happening all over the board. Okay, the supply chain is so affected that, to be honest, we are not even expecting the print on demand. Usually in print on demand, we are still selling sometimes all the way until the 18th and 20th, depending on the postal service last cutout dates and the relationship we have with our suppliers. Talking to some of my friends who own print on demand companies, they don't think we're going to be able to sell anything after the 1st of December because the postal service is not guaranteeing anything being delivered in 30 days. So,
Yeah.
and FedEx and U.S. Postal Service, I mean UPS and DHL depend also on the U.S. Postal Service to be the last end of the delivery intership services. So unless you're delivering overnight and things like that, FedEx always uses U.S. Postal Service to finish the transportation. Another thing is that quarter four, a lot of people buy shirts for Christmas to take the family pictures. But people that need buy those Christmas shirts, they're gonna be looking for those to buy them by October because they need them to take the picture to be able to print the postcards to be able to ship them and for them to arrive by Christmas. A lot of people are doing Christmas shopping right now because they're starting to realize that, for example, toys, Lego is sold out everywhere, right? So I just noticed that I have a bunch of Lego in my garage that I was saving for next year that I'm gonna send this year because the price is off the roof. There is no Lego in the market. So right now it's one of those. This is one of those years that e-commerce you have to be early and you have to really predict that this quarter four is gonna end by December 1st.
You have given so much information. We've just been talking for a few minutes here, and you have laid out so much information. People could just take this and run with it and be profiting by the end of the week. So I'm sure there are going to be people out there going to be wanting to hunt you down and ask you questions and whatnot. Do you have some social media properties out there you want to throw out there so they can follow you?
Well, they can always follow me on Facebook if they so want to. But if they want to learn more print on demand, they can join my free Facebook group, which is Mastering Print on Demand. That is a free Facebook group where I, tend to post more information about. I tend to do lives and interviews in that group. My picture is in the banner, so it will be hard to miss. If you want to go to YouTube, just go to YouTube / Fernando Sustaita, one word, and that is my YouTube channel. If you want to, follow my YouTube channel and watch some print on demand videos.
Awesome, man. Well, I thank you for coming on the show and providing all of your wealth of knowledge, man. It's been tremendous.
My pleasure, man. It's been fun.
I hope you guys enjoyed that interview. I was blown away with the amount of value that Fernando was able to bring to the show. I'm really excited to get started on all this myself. So here's a few takeaways that I got out of it. First and most importantly, print on demand is a great way to create an income on the road because you're providing a great product and there's no inventory to hold or process or anything like that in your small space, Fernando is knocking down six figures from this business and he's never touched a product. The next key point that I got was you can do this even if you're not creative. And this was a hang up that I had when I gave it a shot last time is I'm personally not a creative person at all. And that really was a hindrance in trying to get this business going. And that's why I brought Fernando on, is because he was actually successful with this business, whereas I was not. But now, he pointed out that all you have to do is outsource the design and you don't have to be creative. So I thought that was a good point. Also, another point that I wanted to bang home was that while evergreen designs are good, they provide a steady source of income they're just selling all the time, just steady and ongoing. But you always want to watch out for the wave. You want to try to catch that wave. It's kind of, lightning in a bottle. If you see something that you think might catch on, jump on it. If you're one of the first ones out there, you could make quite a bit of money in a short period of time until that particular market is saturated. So always be looking out for that. Now, I've got a few links for you to check out if you're interested in learning more about all this print-on-demand stuff. If you have a tough time remembering these links, don't stress out about it. They'll be in the show notes too. So first, Fernando has a course on print on demand with Etsy. It's called POD Etsy Secrets. It's a great way to start out because it allows you to build your brand and grow your customer base like we discussed on the show. The link for that is torfree.me/POD Etsy. There are no spaces in that. That was torfree.me/POD Etsy. Now, I've sweet talked Fernando a little bit and got a discount code for you on this one. If you use the discount code TORFREE, all one word, no spaces, you'll get a significant discount off that sales price. Now, he also has a different course on print on demand with Shopify. This is for those of you that want to grow your business without having to pay all those commissions to Etsy. And you can find that one over at torfree.me/POD shop. The way to remember that is Shopify. I just shortened it to shop. torfree.me/POD shop. Now, I wasn't able to get him to give me a discount code on that course, but I did talk him into doing something that was even more logical, I thought. Since the two courses are going hand in hand, at least the way I see it, I talked him into offering a bundle price for the two courses. This is really a no-brainer for you that want to just slay this POD thing. And you can check out that course bundle over at torfree.me/POD combo. What that is both courses, you're buying both at the same time for a discounted price. Like I say, if you want to go all in, that's the way to go. Now, the next resource I wanted to talk to you about is Vexels. Now, as redneck as I am, it was tough for me to understand what Fernando was talking about when he was recommending the service, so I had to go check it out for myself and do a little research on it. And what I found was simply amazing. They offer ready-made shirt designs in editable formats so that you can customize them and make them your own. They all come with commercial licenses to specifically allow you to use them in print on demand. You get to download 200 of these designs per month. I don't know about you, but I don't think I can go through that many in 1 month. And they already have thousands of these designs that you can download, and they upload new ones every single day. You can even request 2 custom designs per month on a plan that's priced about the same as getting a VA to make you 2 designs. And the VA wouldn't come with all this other stuff that I'm naming off, these big features that are important. I'm trying not to mention a price here, but for right now, it's $29 a month. I don't know if that's going to go up in the near future or what, but right now it's $29 a month. But it's going to cost you that much to get a VA to make you 2 custom designs. And this plan comes with all these additional features. Like I mentioned, the 200 downloads of the ready-made designs, but they also even have an interactive t-shirt maker so that you can create your own designs right there on their website, whether using their graphics or not. They've even recently added what they're calling scalable shirts. And what these are, they're files that are easily edited. So with very little effort, it lets you create a whole lot of different designs that are kind of similar. I spoke to one of their representatives about this new service they're offering, and it sounds really exciting, especially if you're wanting to create a Shopify store with different categories for similar styles and make different lines of shirts. You could really expand out your offering of shirts in your store with this service. Now, the other service they're now offering, and this one blew me away, they're doing KDP covers. And if you don't know what that is, it's print on demand books. So if you're an author or planning to write your own book, they're actually offering designs for these print on demand books. And here's a hint: if you wanted to get on Fiverr or Upwork and offer these designs for other authors, if you're not an author, this is a great service to provide to other people. You can use these designs as a starting point and customize the design and provide people on Fiverr and Upwork covers for their books. That's just another idea for a service you could offer using Vexels. I mean, I don't mean to keep going on about these guys, but I'm really impressed. So much so that I'm planning on going ahead and starting back up my POD business and give it another shot. I just think that armed with Fernando's courses and this Vexel account, I'm a lot more confident that I can get it done this time and add to my revenue streams. It just makes sense. So if you're interested in checking out Vexels, you can go to torfree.me/designs and check out that service. I think even if you're not able to grab Fernando's courses, you should really take a look at Vexels and see what they have to offer. It makes the print on demand business a whole lot more attainable for people. Now, obviously, these are all affiliate links. What kind of person would I be telling you how to make an income online and I'm not providing affiliate links, right? You kind of got to wonder about somebody that would do that. But as I've said before, you don't have to pay any extra, and in this case, you actually get a discount on the courses. So now stay tuned, because a full episode on affiliate marketing is coming up. I think it actually might be the next episode, but I got to check my list. I'm not sure right offhand. But don't forget to subscribe and leave a rating for the show. It helps everybody when you do that. It really does. And if you like the show, tell a friend. If you don't like the show, tell an enemy. Just tell somebody, I'm Jason Wyatt, and I'll see you on the road.
Thanks so much for listening to Touring Freedom with your host, Jason Wyatt. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit touringfreedom.com, on Twitter @TourFreeRV, and on Instagram @TouringFreedom, and Facebook.com/TouringFreedom. We'll catch you next time on Touring Freedom.